I'm so glad you're with me today. I got some really exciting stuff to talk about. Fantastic Four, full circle from Abrams' books. Shockingly, this is the first Fantastic Four graphic novel with original material that's ever been made. I can't believe it, and it turns out absolutely amazing. Alex Ross, writing and illustrating, best known from Kingdom Come. You come in here expecting some mind-bending take on the future of the Marvel Comics universe. That is not what this is. But there's certainly just as much tender love and care put into this comic book. Let's get right into it. This is as much a love letter to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby as it is to Silver Age Marvel Comics and the Fantastic Four themselves. And it's a direct sequel to classic Fantastic Four story, This Man, This Monster. And there are so many wonderful little trinkets that Alex Ross puts into this comic book. New readers will not notice because it's done in a very subtle way, but longtime Fantastic Four readers will absolutely notice every single time that we're in there. Throughout the art and even in through the dialogue, there are so many callbacks to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's classic Fantastic Four comic books, whether it be This Man, This Monster, Fantastic Four Annual, Janice the Nega Man, Herbie the Robot. There's so many cool things stuffed into here. While it's definitely a sequel to This Man, This Monster, it doesn't feel or read like it's part of Marvel Comics' current continuity. I believe Alex Ross threw every other bit of Fantastic Four that's been written after Stan Lee and Jack Kirby out the window when he made this comic book. The art is absolutely breathtaking. Normally, you associate Alex Ross with photorealistic painting style comic book artwork, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's not really my cup of tea specifically, but I do admire the quality of what he does. I personally have never seen Alex Ross do like a pop retro comic art style. There's a reason Jack Kirby is considered one of the greatest comic book artists of all times. He is an inspiration to a lot of people, and it's wonderful to see him inspire possibly the best work of Alex Ross's comic book illustrating career, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if it took Alex Ross maybe upwards of 2 years to finish the illustrations in this comic book because it is so well realized with so much detail. And as I mentioned, so many little Easter eggs calling back to Stan and Jack. Alex Ross put his heart and soul into this comic book, and it shines through in each and every page, much like Kingdom Come in that way. Kingdom Come was a love letter to Silver Age DC Comics. But he's taken that idea and turned it straight up on his head this time because this is a direct sequel to This Man, This Monster. We open up, the Thing, Ben Grimm, is getting a late night snack, and there's something there. When the team get together and they start investigating what is in their apartment, they realize this is the man that stole the Thing's identity from This Man, This Monster, and eventually, while trying to kill Reed Richards, saved him, was redeemed. I do think some people are going to be upset because one of the real cool things about that story is we never learn that man's identity. You will learn it in this comic book story. I'm not going to spoil that here. I'm not going to spoil the story at all. I'm just going to tell you the things that work and why I think this comic book is amazing. And hopefully you will go and discover this yourselves. But we do see this character again. He shows up and all of a sudden, everything from your deepest, darkest nightmares appears in their apartment, and they have to start fighting everything. And they realize what has happened, what is before them is a conduit into the negative zone. Someone or something is trying to trap them or draw them back into there. Reed Richards is one of the smartest men on the planet. He knows he needs to go investigate, and the Fantastic Four suit up with new uniforms for this specific mission and go back into the negative zone. One of the things that's missing from today's Fantastic Four comic books is people don't understand that not only is this a team book, it's a family book. It feels like they've lifted both of those key elements of the Fantastic Four out of the comics nowadays. This absolutely accentuates and highlights what a wonderful team the Fantastic Four really are. Everyone using their powers, their gifts for the betterment of the team. Reed Richards is the leader and the mastermind of the team. Ben Grimm is the muscle. Johnny Storm is the hothead. And Sue Storm is the heart and soul of the team. As they work together, it felt so refreshing to see them act like they've been fighting together for decades upon decades. And it just felt really good to see this because we don't see it highlighted all that much in Marvel Comics nowadays. I don't know what it would cost for Marvel to get Alex Ross to be the primary writer for Fantastic Four, but they should do it, in my opinion. Throw the man some money and see if he'll come back, because these are the types of stories that are going to bring readers back to Fantastic Four. Not only is it a team book, it's first and foremost a family book. It draws into the deep history of the characters and the connections that they have to each other. We get this wonderful scene where Reed Richards discovers a planet within the negative zone, and he's saying, we need to go down there and investigate. And the Thing is saying, the last time we decided to do that, I turned into a rock. look at me. I'm tired of you putting us in dangerous situations because you're so curious. How about we not do it this time? And it felt like a real conflict between brothers in a superhero comic book. This used to be the foundation of the most important comic book series at Marvel Comics. And we get to see Sue Storm kind of intervene, mediate, and do what she does best, be the heart and soul of the team. Love the interpersonal conflicts. Obviously, they do travel down to this planet, and along the way, we do meet the Man and discover some new things about who replaced the Thing and tried to kill Reed Richards. At the end of the day, they learn new things about the negative zone, how it interacts with people, why it's there, how it was possibly created. It's just a wonderful Fantastic Four comic book story. In my opinion, this is the best Fantastic Four comic book story we've seen in over 15 years. They don't mention Franklin or Val much, but in the end, when they make it home, they give them a big hug and family life gets back to normal. And the foundation of what the Fantastic Four is back to where it should be, trying to keep the universe, the multiverse, Earth, the family, the team, everything together as the Fantastic Four should do. As I mentioned earlier, while this is a Marvel Comics story, it's produced by Abrams Books. And that is a really important fact to keep in mind. The quality of the hardcover itself, from what I'm told, obviously I couldn't get it myself because I'm in the Philippines and I won't receive it for another week or two. The quality of the paper, the binding, everything is so over the top high end, it's not even funny. The way it has been explained to me from customers who have received the book, they are in awe of it. They cannot believe the quality, just the physical quality of the book itself, regardless of what's inside. If you are a Fantastic Four collector, you probably need to go pick this up. You're not going to see anything on the market from Marvel this high quality. This thing is absolutely beautiful, and it's an original work. Lately, Marvel Comics have been printing a lot of their physical copies, at least their floppies, on toilet paper, let's be honest. So if you want something that's going to stand the test of time, something that you can put in your house, know that you have just a spectacular story, but it's also going to look like $1 million sitting on your bookshelf, you need to go out and get this. If you're a Fantastic Four story, this thing was absolutely meant for you. If you want to revisit this man, this monster, we actually did a comic book retro about it with Joe and Eric right here on the channel. Fantastic story. We had a lot of fun putting this video together. Why don't you go back in the Wayback Machine and enjoy this classic Fantastic Four story with us together. If you're on mobile device, there's a link in the video description.